Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Do you remember?
Good morning, everyone. Just to clarify, my name really is Z. A lot of people say, is that really your name? It is a Z, just the letter Z. My nickname when I was growing up was Betsy, but do I look like a Betsy? Not so much. So I actually changed it to Z, just to clarify. And Melissa, did you want to check something?
Oh, no, it's not. I turned it
There
off.
we go.
See? I told him I like to have control. And then sometimes I take control and drop the ball. It happens. I want to make sure I hear Z in my monitor for this, what we're about to do.
So you're hearing me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can
Are
hear
you
me
a
now?
Verizon
Can
person?
you hear me now?
No.
Now?
Oh,
Now?
yes,
Now?
that's
Now,
good.
there we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little different with you right now. We're going to do a song that has a spoken word chorus. And I invite all of you to say it with me. It's pretty simple. It's just 2 lines. So the first line is, I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God. Say it together. I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God. And the second line is, I feel your peace and your presence in me. Together. I feel your peace and your presence in me. So the first line is peace, presence, power. The second line is your peace and your presence. So let's do both lines all together, okay? Together. I feel your peace and your presence and your power, my God. I feel your peace and your presence in me. And we're going to say it a bunch of times, so don't worry if you don't get the words totally right. No one's going to get mad at you. And also, just for those of you who might have issues with the G word, God, when we say God, we are not talking about the white, senior citizen, mentally ill person in the sky. When we say my God, we are talking about that highest, greatest, most loving, most amazing energy that is in each and every one of us. My God. Okay, we ready? It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. God was unreliable, a crazy man, righteous, someone I should love and fear. What kind of sense is that? It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. When I stumbled upon your power, I lost what I was taught. The crazy and the righteous enfolded in a love so vast it stretched the very definition of the word love. Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender. I surrender to your love. I surrender. I surrender to your love.
You are not outside of me, and yet you are. It makes no sense, but then it does, for you are here, wherever here may be. I speak to you. You speak to me. The voice is mine and not mine, landing in the space between where you and I vanish and begin stretching the very definition of the word, me. You. Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender. I surrender to your love. I surrender. I surrender to your love.
Together, I feel your peace and
I
your presence
surrender.
and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace
I
and your
surrender.
presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender.
I feel your peace and your presence and your power.
Good morning. I don't know that we've ever timed it where we do that and then we talk, or I don't think we've done it where we do that and then I talk, because I don't ever feel like I can talk after that. Good morning. So, this morning Z and I are going to be weaving our talk. So I'll talk, she'll talk, I'll talk, she'll talk. And it's, as Sue said, out of your mind. So, we're talking about being out of your mind in a preferable way. In that reading, that beautiful reading, talking about the mind not being in the present moment. And so when Miguel talks about that chatterbox in the mind, sometimes he calls it the storyteller. And the storyteller is a beautiful thing. We need to figure out life, figure out who we are. It's a good thing to have a storyteller in our mind. But anyone ever get tired of the storyteller? Chatty, 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 chatty. Chat, 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 just shut up! Yeah. So the thing about the storytellers, they tell us stories, and we believe them or not. But mostly, we believe them, right? We don't think to question often, unless we're doing a lot of spiritual practice coming places like here, and we learn to question what the storyteller is saying. So I came from my many years of study and work with Miguel. I came also, I was in this philosophy, doing a lot of classes and training, and on my way to becoming Melissa Phillippe, the Reverend Doctor. It's very... And in that process of those two things working together, I came up with a summary of my work in all of that, and it is this. If you are feeling really, really bad, you are believing a lie that your storyteller is telling you. Make sense? If you're feeling bad, you're believing a lie. Now, the thing about this is the magical thing. I used to exclude grief from this. We have to feel grief. Grief has to move through. This is true. We have to feel grief, and grief has to move through. But I have discovered in my years since making up that little saying, as I be with grief, that when I am not in the storyteller about it, when I am simply in the present moment with grief, because it comes from love and appreciation for something that's changing or leaving. And my experience is that when I'm really present with grief, I don't feel bad. It's not that I really want to sign up for a life filled with grief, but I kind of did because I'm here. So we won't go there. But I don't any longer have grieving as an exception. So I still say, as a blanket statement, if you are feeling bad, you are believing a lie. So part of what we're going to talk about this morning in our little back and forth thing is when you notice you're feeling bad, what do you do about it? Now, I want to say first that my experience of this is I'm believing a lie and feeling bad. That's true whether I'm believing the lie about myself or about someone else. So if we're telling a lie about ourselves, oh, you're just not, oh, you should be more, oh, why don't you just, any of those kinds of things, it feels really bad. But it also feels really bad when we walk away from someone and say, why was she wearing that hat with those glasses? Like, what is with that? That feels bad also. Yes? If we actually get present with ourselves, that doesn't feel good. So I still say, if you're believing a lie, you're going to feel bad, and if you feel bad, you're going to believe a lie. So whichever way you get there, there is a way out, and it is by getting out of your mind, and that's what we're talking about this morning. Okay, Z.
So there is really no better way to look at the crazy lying mind than when we make a mistake, right? Making mistakes is always a fun way to really engage the mind. And so in light of that, I would like to share with you the biggest mistake I ever made on stage. Would you like to hear about it? Okay. So it happened when I was playing the piano. And just to give a little background about me and the piano, I started playing when I was 5 years old, and I was one of those kids who actually wanted to play the piano. I was not forced to go. I actually asked my parents if I could play, and they said yes. So I went and I took lessons, and I loved it. I loved playing, just like I thought I would. The only thing that I did not love was the yearly piano recital. Oh, it was like a form of torture. I was so terrified to play in front of all those people. I actually can barely remember any of my piano recitals except that I had to do them. It was just an awful, awful thing. Finally, after I studied classical piano for 15 years, And after 15 years, I just decided, this isn't for me. I don't like playing classical music. I don't like being alone in a practice room. I quit. But you know, when you get all those years of lessons, it's still in you. So about 10 years ago now, I joined the choir at Center for Spiritual Living down in Santa Rosa. The choir director found out that I could play piano, and she decided, unbeknownst to me, that it would be a good idea if I didn't sing, but I played the piano instead. So I said yes, because she was kind of intimidating. So I said, sure, yeah. So I can still remember the first Sunday. Now, Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, for those of you who do not know, it's a big place. There's 1,000 members. There's 3 services on a Sunday morning. It's a sanctuary that seats 800 people. It was like lots of people there. And I remember she had me play Seasons of Love, and my hands were shaking so much that it was hard, really, literally hard to make contact with the keys. It was terrifying. But what was even worse was what happened afterwards. What happened afterwards was I thought about how it had gone and what I had played, and I thought about the mistakes that I had made, and every single mistake that I had made got blown up totally out of proportion, right? Like this huge, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I forgot about everything that had gone well. And I replayed my mistakes in my mind again and again and again. It was kind of like being trapped and tied onto a chair and being forced to watch a horror movie again and again, you know? It was awful. A friend of mine called it piano prison. So that's kind of, and you know, if you do live music, you're going to make mistakes. That's just the way of it. So this was my experience playing the piano, going to piano prison afterwards. So it was in the context of this. A few years in, I'd gotten a little better, and I'd started to play with Melissa as well as the choir. And one Sunday we went down to the Bay Area to do a performance at a church down there. And by then I'd graduated. I was now doing solos, because I was fancy like that. And this church, they were doing live streaming. So for the live streaming, we were talking beforehand, they were going to make sure that when my solo came, they were going to get a close-up of my hands and my face. So you can smell the trouble coming. Okay. So the moment came, it was time for my big solo, and I'm there at the piano, and I have the music in front of me, or so I thought. Because the time came for my solo, and I look up, and the music for my solo is gone. Gone. And so I know you need 2 hands to play piano, but now I needed another hand to try to find the solo. So there I am, I'm kind of trying to cover with one hand on the piano, and my other hand, I'm like grasping around, looking everywhere, trying to find the solo. It was nowhere to be found. I'm sure if they were getting close-ups of my hand and face then, my hand was the one hand on the piano, and my face was just like, ah. So I'm looking at Melissa, I'm looking at the band, they're looking at me like, why, what are you doing? This is really bad. And I'm looking back at them saying, I know, I don't know what to do. So I just did my best to kind of muddle on through for the whole part that was supposed to be my solo, but it was really bad. So then, it's over. I go back down to sit at my seat, and the most amazing thing happened. I did not go to piano prison. Not even a little bit. I could hear the thoughts in my head like, wow, that was really bad. But it was kind of like they were far away. They didn't affect me like they had been. And when I thought about it later, I realized that day we were at Unity of Walnut Creek. It was the first metaphysical church I had ever gone to back in the early 90s. And when I was there that day, I felt so full of love. I was just so happy to be there. I was so happy to see the people I hadn't seen in a long time. My heart was just full of love. And you know, that's reality, right? That is the essence of reality. It's just we don't always feel that, right? This particular day, I knew the essence of reality. I was in it. I was feeling it. So when Piano Prison tried to get traction, it couldn't. It couldn't. There wasn't room. So Tip number one for how to get out of the mind is to remember the love. Remember the love. And there are several great ways to do this, one of which is to come to places like this, right? Come to communities where we can feel the love within and without. Surround ourselves with supportive friends who allow us to feel that love within and without. And spiritual practice, meditation, prayer, affirmations, all of these are ways of reminding ourselves and tapping into that reality, feeling that reality of love, thus enabling us to stay out of the crazy mind. Melissa?
I love hearing her tell that story. It was really bad. Yeah. Things happen, you know. So, in talking about practicing being out of the mind, practicing being out of that storyteller enough that we get better and better at being able to be present, to actually be in the present. Because the good news is that, as quantum physics has proven in more recent years, there really is only one thing happening, and it is infinite, magnificent love, for lack of a better word. It is that thing that is so amazing. And you are that. That is what you are, and that is where you are, and that is what you are doing in reality all the time. So one of the blessings for me of being with Miguel is I got to hear great stories about Miguel. And one of the great stories, I mean, I got to experience great stories about Miguel too, actually. And this one, though, is not an example where I was there. A good friend of mine, Frank, and Miguel went to one of Miguel's speaking engagements where he did his talk, and then he signed his books and said hello to people, and then they walked outside to get in their car. Only the car was gone. And Miguel looked at where they had parked it, and Frank looked at where it had been, and there was not a car there. And Miguel said, "Did we park here?" Wondering if maybe he, you do booking after booking, it starts to all be one big blur. "Yes," Frank said, "that's where we parked the car." Indeed. And there is no car there. And Miguel turned and looked at him and said, "I get to get a new car." Now, I don't know about you, but I may have gotten there. I may have gotten to, oh my gosh, he was like a little kid on Christmas. I get to get a new car. And I would maybe have gotten there. You would maybe get there, right? But wouldn't we probably go through some other things first, down the, oh my God, I can't believe, and they took my, yeah. So that, for me, is one of my very favorite examples of how good we can get at being in the present moment and not listening to the storyteller, so much so that it becomes a habit to not listen, not believe the storyteller. And so my own personal experience of this kind of change happened for me when I was recording my second 2 CDs. So many years ago, I recorded my first 2 CDs, and there's 2 because it was a CD of songs and a CD of chants. So that song you guys sing here sometimes, "I Am Remembering Who I Am." So I wrote that one, or really Spirit wrote it, but I was in the room. I was the only one in the room with Spirit when it got written. So technically, on paper, I wrote it. So those kind, right? Short affirmative statements set to music in English. So I had a CD of that and a CD of songs. And so fast forward, years later, now I've been touring, and I've been here a couple times, and going all around the world, and at Unity, Signs of Mind, different kinds of spiritual community things, and doing my music. And sometimes speaking, mostly doing my music, because I wasn't a minister yet. So at one point, I just decided, I've got all these new songs and these new chants, and I don't get to sing them because mostly I'm doing the ones that people have heard on the CDs, and they want those, right? So I kind of want to do a new CD or 2 new CDs. And at the time, I was married to this wonderful man, and he said, "What the hell are you thinking?" And I was very confused. I said, I'm sick of these songs. I said, what I just said to you, like, why? And so, because I was stubborn then, back in the day, I was stubborn. I didn't even ask him, like, why do you say that? I just said, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do now. I'm going to do these new two CDs. So I did them. I recorded them. Now, for those of you who don't know about the recording process, you go into a studio, or if you're doing it this way, you go into a studio and you record the bass and the drums and then the piano and the guitar and the saxophone and the flute and the whatever on top of that. And then you backup singers, all the background vocalists come in, they sing their little parts and get it all done. Then you go in, you do your lead vocal, your final vocal. And then after all the recording process is done, you do the next phase, which is the next to the last and almost the last phase, called mixing. Anybody ever heard of that process? You mix your CD. So mixing is where you, and actually these guys do it every Sunday. They're mixing. They have a mixing board back there. If you ever look at it, it's got a whole bunch of buttons and knobs on it. Looks very intimidating until you realize every track, every row of those are exactly the same. So once you know what the buttons are, you know what they are for all the different things. I don't pretend to do that. I mean, I do it. Actually, I have a home studio and I do some, but for mixing my CDs, I don't do that. I go to somebody who, that's what they do. So I'm there with my guy, Tom Size, and that's what he's doing. We're mixing my CD. Now, the thing about mixing a CD is you isolate the different sounds to get them just right before you put them all back together again. And then you set the different volumes of the different things. It's literally like mixing. You know, if you bake, you put everything in a bowl and you mix it. It's like that with the sound. And hopefully you make it like a wonderful cake. And so about 5 days into mixing, I called my now ex-husband and I said, "It sucks. It's really bad. I really am thinking that if I could make it work if I just go back into the studio and re-record all of my vocals." Now, that would not be a small thing. And he said to me, "Ah, there it is. That's why I thought you were crazy to record another 2 CDs. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, this hell, this toxicity that you're in right now." I said, "Yes." He said, "This is where you lived for a year when you made the first 2 CDs. You came home every day from the studio, and you were right where you are now." And I realized I had a new storyteller. So the old storyteller with the first 2 CDs, which any of you who have ever taken on a big new creative vision, decided to do it, was, "Wow, I'm going to do this." And then, "Oh yeah, right. Who the hell do you think you are to do that?" Right? Anybody recognize that? Right on the heels of God's Spirit's inspiration comes that voice, that storyteller saying, "You are not worthy. You don't deserve to have, who the hell are you to think you are good enough songwriter, good enough singer, good enough producer to do this?" La 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 la, on and on, right? And I was believing it completely for the whole year and coming home in hell. And in that process of isolating, right? Isolating each thing and listening to my voice through a microscope, then I started to be in that hell. But not until then. Because when I recorded my second 2 CDs, I just was a recording artist. Because I had done that already. I had 2 CDs. I'd been going around the world selling them. People seemed to enjoy it. It was like I had completely changed my inner story. So that storyteller in my head couldn't have gotten me with, "You're not good enough to do this. Who are you? Who do you think?" Like that would have just not stuck. It didn't even start to go. Right? It's like Miguel. He just didn't even start to go there. He went right to the truth. So I lived in enough of the truth that this is who I am and this is what I do. This is my dharma. This is my gift. You know, that's just what I do. So I'm going to do it. And then that isolating thing just didn't quite, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it then. Until he said that to me. And then I realized, oh, that's just that thing. That's just that thing. It's part of the process. And for me now, it's in this part. And I can just keep going, right? So that's that experience of being out of your mind enough that there's a new story. And you can still choose to not believe it if you're feeling bad. And my experience of this, that I've gotten really good at this now, after many years of practice, I was given by a great spiritual master. I was given this mantra that I do when that storyteller comes up with a lie. I notice I'm feeling really bad. I do this mantra. So because you are very special and you are here, I'm going to give you my secret mantra. You ready? Okay. So it's actually very, very deep. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And listening with an open heart. So I hear that voice, that chatter saying something bad about me or someone else. And I turn to it and I say, liar, liar, pants on fire. Are you ready to do it? Here we go. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Now I want you to imagine some voice in your head, some story that you hear about how you're not good enough. You can hear it. Turn to that little voice and say it again. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Thank you. That was very good. I recommend you keep doing that.
Just for everyone who knows, that's not a foghorn if you're hearing that noise. It's the air conditioner, so that's the voice of the liar, maybe. Who knows? All right, so here's what we have. We have remembering the love through spiritual practice, through spiritual community. We have calling the liar on its stuff. And I have a third and final tip to offer. So this was the method that I've come up with for how to get out of piano prison. It's actually worked really well, so I wanted to share it with you. So piano prison can be anything, right? In my case, it's live performance. It can be a conversation with a friend. It can be something that happened at work. It can be your entire life. Anytime you take an event or something and you focus only on the negative and you blow it up totally out of proportion and forget everything else, right? So I can't believe I said that to her, or I messed up so bad, or in the case of your life, my whole life is awful. Yeah. So here's what my piano prison, bust out of piano prison way. So the first trick is to notice that I've gone there, okay? Because sometimes what I would do is I would be in piano prison for hours and believing it, right? Not even catching that I was telling myself a lie, just having, say, 2 hours after a performance of like, oh. So that's the first trick, is notice that you've gone there. It's the first step away from what the mind is doing. Second step is to make yourself list all the positive things about whatever it is. So in my case, it would be to go back and look at the performance, whatever it was, and make myself list everything that went well. It's often very surprising when you do this, how many positive things there are to say about this thing, right? It can be helpful sometimes to have a friend help you with this, because if you're really caught in the negativity, if you're really caught in the liar, it can be hard to find the positive aspects. So in my case, I had a live-in wife to help me do this. So that's what you do. You make yourself list all the positive aspects, and you don't stop until you're done. And then, and only then, do you allow yourself to go back and look at the things that maybe didn't go as well. And it's really fascinating when you do that in the context of having reviewed all the positive aspects. You'll see one of two things usually happens. The first thing that can happen is you realize, oh, that was no big deal. Now that I'm seeing this in the light of what went well, oh well. The second thing that can happen is you realize, I actually want to do something about that. I want to go back to my friend that I said something to and make amends. I want to go change something I did at work. In my case, with Piano Prison, it's like, oh, okay. Now that I'm looking at the mistake in the context of what went well, I want to change that. I want to improve that in the future. But because I'm not beating myself up, because I'm not paralyzed with negativity, I'm able to actually affect a positive change. Now, oftentimes what I do, just so I don't even have to go to Piano Prison in the first place, is after anything where there might be the potential for me to do that, I just right away cut to the chase, make myself list all the positive aspects of the conversation, the performance, whatever it was, right away. Because then when I allow my mind, the mind can be our friend as well, when I allow the mind to look at anything I might want to improve, it's in the context of positivity. So that's how we get out of our mind. We remember the love, we're skeptical about the liar, and we stay focused on the positive. And what all three of these have in common is all three of them are amplified and supported by spiritual practice. Because the reality, the truth of our existence is love. And so when we turn toward love, when we're skeptical about negativity, when we focus on the positive aspects of our life, we are grounding ourselves, aligning ourselves with the truth, with the essence of who we really are. And it doesn't get any better than that. Let us pray. And today we're going to do something a little different because we can. So just taking a deep breath, inhale and exhale, coming to center.
There is only one power, one presence, the source and the substance of all. Behind and through all seen and unseen, this infinite love is what breathes me. It is the breath. This love is what blesses each moment in time. It is here in this moment called now. Now. Showing us how to live our lives in peace. This love is what I am, and all that is, all that is this love.
So it is with the awareness of the truth, the awareness of the love in me, in each and every one of us, the love in this room, in this music, in this prayer, in the air. This love is who and what we are. And so I claim and affirm in this space of such power and such grace, I claim and affirm that we remember who we are. We remember this love throughout the day. We remember to be skeptical of the mind when we start to feel bad, feel contracted. We allow ourselves to anchor in this grace, this love. I claim and affirm that as we go forth today from this place, that we are anchored in the awareness of love, anchored in the awareness of the potential for the mind to lead us astray and to bring ourselves back to one, back to center, back to love, back to the truth. For this is indeed the only truth. And that's why it feels so good. And it is with great gratitude for this awareness that I breathe into this one.
Thank you, Spirit, for the love that is the truth, for taking this truth spoken, making it better, and making it so. And with confidence, because we know you have it, we release. And let go. And so it is.
And please anchor this prayer together as we say together, and so it is. Amen. So I invite you to take another deep breath. Inhale and exhale. So we all know that prayer is a way to anchor ourselves in the divine, but there's another way, and that is through rap. Yeah. And we're going to be rapping together now. In that spirit, I invite you to stand. Yes, that's right. Yes, we're going to put you to work today. Okay. This is really easy, and it's really fun, and if you don't have fun, you can pretend that you're having fun. How about that? Okay, so this is, we have some teens, actually, who are here because they were at teen camp, and we did this there, so it's really fun that they're here today, too. Okay, so this is an echo. So that makes it easy, right? Because I say it first, then you say it.
And I say it with you.
Yeah, so watch what she's doing. Melissa is the key to everything, which is pretty much...
Oh, I like that. Melissa
that's
is
my
the key.
life right there. Okay, so here we go. First, oh good, they're gonna come up front.
Awesome.
Yay, awesome.
Come help us.
You guys want to come help us? You want to come on stage? Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. These two know what they're doing. We were the musicians at teen camp this year, and we taught them this rap, and we also filmed it. Actually, we're making a video, and you guys are in the video. So you can watch them and Melissa. They're gonna do the echo part, and you want to do everything they do. All right. So here's the first line. I am
I am.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Okay, I kind of felt that a little, but you can do better than that. Now here's the thing, we are metaphysicians, so we act as if, and if we feel it, great. If we don't, we pretend that we do, right? Right? Okay, so let's try it again. Remember, echo. I first, then you're second. I am.
I am.
Incredible.
Incredible.
That was better. Okay, next line. I am.
I am.
Powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah, that was good. I am.
I am.
A miracle.
A miracle.
All right, last but not least, I am.
I am.
Divine.
Divine.
Now, just so you know, these movements are actually based on sign language, so we're not just making this stuff up. Yeah. Okay, now it's going to get a little more complicated, a little trickier. We're going to combine some moves. So here we go. Watch me first. Incredible, powerful. Do it together.
Incredible, powerful.
Let's try that again. So I'll do it, and then you echo me. Incredible, powerful.
Incredible, powerful.
Right. So just remember the echo part. I know I'm really cool and you want to be just like me, so you want to do it with me, but it's really you do it after. Okay. So that's incredible, powerful. Okay, next part. Next one is two. Powerful, a miracle. Together.
Powerful, a miracle.
So let's do that again. I'll do it, then you do it. Powerful, a miracle.
Powerful, a miracle.
Okay, you're doing really well. Thank you for hanging in there. Okay, last but not least, we're going to put all the moves together. You didn't think you were going to be rapping when you came to church today, probably, right? Rapping and moving, but there you go. The divine has all kinds of surprises, always. All right, so here we go. Watch me first. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. I know it looks really complicated, but check it out. There's a trick. One hand, two hands, two hands, one hand. And it's also in your center of your body. Then you go out in the world a little. Then you move it a little bit. And then you come back to one. Now, also, the other thing to know, just like with peace, presence, power, you can't mess this up. There's no such thing, right? We're not going to let our minds get a hold of this and say, oh, I can't do it. No, none of that, right? Liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, and then we'll just run the sequence of 4 a bunch of times. And remember to just allow yourself to feel it, right? Okay, so incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. So let's do it a bunch of times. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. Again, incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. We're feeling it, right? Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. How cool are we? We're incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. Nice. Okay, okay. Now, that's part 1 of 15. Just kidding. It's part 1 of 2, and the other part, Melissa's going to teach you.
Yeah, the second part is that right after you do that, you're going to sing with me, and there are movements while you sing. It's not quite as complicated, though. It's because, singing is like a whole other thing. So, we're going to keep it simpler, and so you're going to echo me now, but in the song, you'll do it with me. Because I know I'm not as cool as her, but you can sing with me.
Yes, you are.
All right. No, I'm many things like you, but cool. Okay. Anyway, all right. So you're going to echo me now just to learn it. So you're going to go like this. I. Oh, good. You can sing. Am. Okay. Now this is the key movement of the entire song because it's free form. You can do any move you want, but it needs to be outrageous because it needs to go with these words. I am all that. I am all that. Oh, yeah. Then we go, I am. And then there are 3, so I'm going to teach you one at a time. I am. I am. I am. And then we do the I am all that. I am. Now do the 3 with me. I am I am. I am.
All right.
Awesome. You
Okay.
sing really well. And the reason that's awesome, besides the fact that when we're not here, you're singing well and it sounds so good, is that at the end of the song, I'm going to take off and be a wild woman with my singing, and I need you to ignore me and keep making that happen. They'll be doing it too, right?
Yep.
But you're like the backup singers that hold it down at that point? Okay.
Okay. And then
You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. And the only other thing you need to know is we call this metaphysical nerd rap, by the way. And so I have some pretty fancy moves. You guys have seen them. Oh, yeah, I can move. And don't be alarmed. No one's ever been hurt. And if anyone wants to join me when the music starts, feel free to just like let the music take you wherever you want to. Yeah, we're just gonna go crazy. We have, okay, you guys ready in the back there? All right, hit it. Should we start over? Yeah, let's start over. Let's do that again. There we go. You can turn it up a little bit, I think. All around us everywhere are messages we see. How to think, how to talk, how to live and be. They tell us that we're ugly. They tell us that we're fat. They tell us we'll feel so much better if we just buy that. But here's a little secret, here's a little clue. Those messages you see and hear have nothing to do with you. You are God's creation. You're beautiful and free. So open your ears, open your mind, and repeat after me. I am incredible. I am powerful. I am a miracle. I am divine. Incredible. Powerful. A miracle. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine.
Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. I am all that I am. I am all that. I am all that I am. I am. Nice. Yes, I am.
Perhaps you think it's crazy. Perhaps you think it's lame to call yourself a miracle. Well, isn't that just vain? But God is a serious genius. God makes no mistakes. Everything about you is divinely made. Your eyes, your face, your arms, your legs, you're a work of art. And if you don't believe me, ask your heart. Turn within, you will see it's radiant and strong. The power that created you has been there all along. Dig it. I am incredible. I am powerful. I am a miracle. I am divine. Incredible. Powerful. A miracle. Incredible. Powerful. A miracle. Divine.
Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. I am all that, yes I am. I am all that. I am all that, yes I am. I am all that. Yes, I am. I am all that. Yes, I am. I am all that. Thank you guys for
Thank you,
helping
guys.
us.
To love, serve.